Hey, all, I just want to take a moment and kind of go through a little bit of a process of kind of preparing for the year and kind of what I do with athletes that I work with as they get set for competition and preparation for their season. I think one of the things that I've really tried to stress lately is the importance of emotional awareness. Emotional intelligence is another word. I think because we operate in such high standards and emotional sports are emotional, and I think it's really important that we become aware of what it takes to work through those emotions and not only ourselves, but if we're part of a teammates as well. So I've really tried to stress the idea of creating self-awareness, self-management, social awareness, and social skills. So a lot of the communication I have with athletes that I work with spends a lot of our time on those types of things. So when we talk about self-awareness, we can talk about emotional awareness, self-assessment, self-confidence. Self-management involves our self-control, our adaptability, our trustworthiness and our initiative and how we orientate ourselves to achievement and stuff like that. Social awareness is empathy, so maybe what's going on with our teammates. Organizational awareness, where our organization is. Are we competing? Are we contending? Are we rebuilding? And then social skills. So, is that leadership and how we influence others? Is that conflict management? Stuff like that. So I just really think that it's really important to understand the role that emotional intelligence can play, and I spend a lot of time with that with the athletes that I work with. Another component that I always hear about is confidence. It's not your parents' job to give you confidence. It's not your coach's job to give you confidence. It's your job to give you confidence. And there's four main aspects. Number one, confidence is multidimensional. So if you don't want to be a confidence victim, you want to be accountable to it. You have to understand there's a bunch of facets that go into performance. That includes your preparation. That includes your understanding of team tactics. That goes from your appearance, your clarity, your body language. There's a lot of things that go into confidence, and I think we just tend to see sometimes goals, assists, points, wins, losses, touchdowns, baskets. Those are part of it, but they're not all of it. It's protective. Confidence should be there to help us work through adversity. I think it's really important to know that adversity shouldn't take away confidence. It should help us through those times. In any high performance scenario, adversity is going to be there. So you need to make sure your confidence is there, that it's responsive to those situations. It's a strong belief. I sometimes have conversations with athletes about arrogance and stuff like that, and it is a fine line. You need a swagger, but it can't be a fake swagger. I think it's really confidence is built, and like any other skill, it's built day to day, and it comes from your investment of time. It's there when you really, really, really need it, because you've built it over so many days and months and years and stuff like that. So, which leads me to the development of it. It's through making the right decisions. It's through putting teammates first. It's through understanding your role. It's understanding your responsibility. It goes back to emotional intelligence. So, I think confidence. There's more things that we can refine in confidence than just saying, well, I have it or I don't have it. And so I urge you to kind of dig a little bit deeper when we talk about confidence. So one of the other things that I tend to talk a lot about with my athletes is understanding their scheme. I think your scheme is really important, and that comes from your identity, your beliefs, your style of play, knowing what you can do and doing it very, very well. It also comes from showing your strengths. Bring more of who you are, not more than you are. I will statements are really important in owning the present moment. And that kind of leads me into, in games, you can only control the controllables. And so part of that is your identity, your belief, your style of play. And if you're focused on those things, those other things, that external distraction, it's really hard to play a part. And so kind of keep that in mind. When we take a look at those things, preparation includes the night before, a pregame and in-game structure, and then a post-game evaluation. I don't think a lot of athletes spend enough time evaluating what they just did. And I get it. An 82 game schedule is difficult to do it, but on a weekly basis, it might be something to look at, because that builds your points moving forward. I also think when we talk about high performance, I think it's really important when we talk about emotional intelligence, your scheme, confidence. This helps you manage yourself. Understand that you have an impact on others. I think it helps you paint the picture or tells the story, right? How do you want to be seen? Is that the visual you're creating? That kind of goes into your preparation skills, your self-talk, your breathing, your visualization, and stuff like that. And the last point I want to make here is the adversity thing. Adversity is going to happen. You have to find ways to embrace adversity. And that comes from emotional intelligence, confidence, and understanding your scheme. So those are just a few things I work on with athletes I work with. I wish you all the best at the start of your season. And by all means, if there's anything I can ever do, please don't hesitate to reach out.